Welcome to SS classes student. Today we are going to discuss about the next topic of this chapter, that is matter around us pure. So our today's topic is student to study the types of solution, that is true solution, colloidal solution and suspension, that we have discussed yesterday, but today let us discuss in short. So the properties of solution, children. Properties of true solution. Particle size is less than 1 nanometer. So we cannot see the particles of true solution with our naked eyes. This particle can pass through filter paper, next is the particles are stable, they remains dissolved in the bulk of medium, they do not show Tyndall effect, next is true solutions appears homogeneous. Appearance of true solution is homogeneous. Example: salt solution, sugar solution, tincture of iodine, etc. children. Second is colloidal type of solution, which is also called as sol. Sol doesn't mean solution. Sol means colloidal type of solution. So remember this. So children, these colloidal particles are bigger than the particles of true solution. So their size is bigger than 1 nanometer. The size is bigger than 1 nanometer, but then too we can't see the particles of colloids with our naked eyes. They are quite stable. This particle remain dispersed in the bulk of medium. This particle can pass through filter paper and they appears heterogeneous. The particle appears heterogeneous because the particles are not uniformly distributed in the bulk of medium. So colloidal solution appears heterogeneous. Next, suspension. Suspension particles are bigger, so we can see them with our naked eyes. They cannot pass through filter paper. They cannot pass through filter paper, and hence we can separate the particles of suspension by filtration. Now children, here one property is remaining in case of colloids, that is they shows Tyndall effect, that we are going to discuss right now. What is Tyndall effect? They also shows Tyndall effect. they also shows Tyndall effect, and they appears heterogeneous. Suspension appears heterogeneous. So there are the properties of true solution, colloidal solution, and suspension. You can also write this in a differences form. Children, let us see an activity of Tyndall effect. तो बच्चों ये एक्टिविटी हम कैसे करेंगे देखिए. इसके लिए हमको एक ग्लास जार या तो फिर ग्लास का कोई टम्बलर या तो फिर इसके लिए हम ग्लास बीकर भी यूज़ कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. फर्स्ट बीकर में हम लेंगे कोई भी टाइप का ट्रू सॉल्यूशन, जिसमें हम प्लेन वाटर भी ले सकते हैं सिंपली. सेकंड में हम लेने वाले हैं कोई कोलाइडल टाइप ऑफ सॉल्यूशन, जिसमें आप कोई भी मिल्क कोई भी सैंपल जैसे कि मिल्क वगैरह है या फिर मिल्क ऑफ मैग्नीशिया है जिसमें मैग्नीशियम ऑक्साइड डिज़ोल्व किया जाता है वाटर में, या तो फिर वाटर इन दैट फ्यू ड्रॉप्स ऑफ मिल्क्स आर एडेड. So that also you can take as a colloidal solution. So from the torch, student, when the light is passed, then true solution particles, children, are very small. So they are very small, and hence from the true solution the light can pass, because the particles are not bigger to scatter the beam of light. So from true solution light can pass. But here in a colloids the particles are bigger, so they are bigger enough to scatter the beam of light, and as the beam of light is scattered, it makes the path of light visible here, children. Path of light become visible, and this property is known as Tyndall effect, children. So colloids shows Tyndall effect, and hence from colloids then light will not pass because it got scattered by the particles of colloidal solution, because they are bigger enough to scatter the beam of light. So बच्चों ये एक्टिविटी आप कैसे कर सकते हैं. आप ये एक्टिविटी नाइट में बहुत अच्छे से कर सकते हैं. जैसे कि आपने आपका एक रूम सिलेक्ट कर लिया जहाँ पे कंप्लीट डार्क क्रिएट हो सकता है, और एक टेबल पे आपने ग्लास रख दिया जिसमें आपने वाटर ऐड किया है. सो इस एक्टिविटी के लिए आपको कोई भी ग्लास अपरेटस से लगेगा बच्चों, और इसमें से आपको अंधेरे में ये सॉल्यूशन में से लाइट पास करना है. सो अगर आपने वाटर ले लिया तो भी ठीक है, आपने सॉल्ट सॉल्यूशन ले लिया तो भी चलेगा. और जब भी आप एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हो तो आपको ये केयर करना है कि एक साइड से जब आप टॉर्च का लाइट उसके ऊपर फॉल करोगे तो नेक्स्ट साइड से वो लाइट वॉल के ऊपर फॉल होना चाहिए. आपको ऐसा अरेंजमेंट करना है. मतलब कैसे, जैसे कि समझो ये आपका टेबल है, here you have kept the apparatus containing sample. Suppose wall surface is here, and from here the beam of light is coming, so make sure that it should fall on the wall. So there you can see the difference. So as the light pass from the true solution, the light as it passes from the true solution, it falls on the wall. So here you can see the light appearing, here you can see the light appearing. But if you take colloidal solution here, children, if you take colloidal solution here, then the particles of colloid can scatter the beam of light, and you will observe that no light will fall here on the wall, no light will fall. So in this way you can perform this activity at your home, so you will exactly come to know what the Tyndall effect is. So in this topic, children, let us find out the solute and solvent of these samples. So here is the salt solution, children. So as I told you, solute means The thing which is present in very small quantity in a solution is called solute, and the thing which is present in the large amount is called solvent. So children, in a salt solution, what is present in the small amount? That is the salt. So solute is the salt here, and here water is the solvent. In case of sugar solution, sugar is the solute and water is the solvent. In case of soda water, most of the students get confused here, that is they will assume that soda is the solute and water is the solvent. No, in soda water, children, carbon dioxide is the solvent, sorry, it is a solute. Carbon dioxide is the solute and water is the solvent. Fine. In tincture of iodine, iodine is the solute, and remember children, iodine does not get dissolved in water, so we should not use solvent water here. So instead of that, we can use the organic solvent such as alcohol. So this iodine is soluble in alcohol. So as a solvent, we'll take alcohol here and iodine is the solute. Children, air. Air contains carbon dioxide and other gases in a small amount. As they are present in small amount, while nitrogen and oxygen, they are present in the large amount, so they are the solvent, and other gases including carbon dioxide is the solute. Children, one more classification is there of a solution, that is saturated solution, second unsaturated, and third is supersaturated. Don't use short form here, because if you will write sol, that will be collide, as I told you earlier. So don't write full form here. So it's solution, write full. Okay children, so what is a saturated solution? Saturated solution are those type of solution in which we cannot add more solute. We cannot add more solute. If we try to add, that will remain undissolved. So for example, 20 gram of copper sulfate is added into 100 gram of water at particular temperature. So that will form a saturated solution of copper sulfate. But children, in such a type of solution which is already saturated one, in that if we try to add more solute, will not get dissolved, that will remain undissolved. मतलब बच्चों, सैचुरेटेड सॉल्यूशन एग्जैक्टली होता क्या है? ये इस टाइप का सॉल्यूशन है जिसमें हम ऑलरेडी उसके डिसॉल्विंग कैपेसिटी के उतना सॉल्यूट ऐड कर चुके हैं. अब अगर हम इसमें और ज़्यादा सॉल्यूट ऐड करने की कोशिश करेंगे तो बच्चों होगा क्या कि वो जो एक्स्ट्रा ऐड किया हुआ सॉल्यूट है वो इसमें क्या रहेगा? अनडिसॉल्व. दैट विल डायरेक्टली गो एट द बॉटम ऑफ द बीकर and will precipitate out there. But children, in unsaturated, un means which is not, absent, so that is not saturated one, which is not saturated one, in that we can add more solute. We can add more solute in such a way that we can bring it to its saturation level. For example, here we'll take the same example. The 20 gram of copper sulfate when dissolves in 100 gram of water, that will form saturated solution at particular temperature. If at the same temperature children, if we add 18 gram of copper sulfate in 100 gram of water, so of course that will form unsaturated, because 20 gram in water can form, 100 gram of water can form saturated at particular temperature. At the same temperature, if we add less than this, so that will form unsaturated solution. So how much gram we can add more in this solution children in order to make it saturated? We can add more 2 gram of copper sulfate, so it will become 20. Clear? So in unsaturated solution we can add more solute till its saturation level. So that is a type of unsaturated solution. And children, the third type is supersaturated. It contains more amount of solute than its saturation level. It contains more amount of solute than its saturation level. For example, 20 gram of copper sulfate in 100 gram of water at particular temperature form saturated solution. Now children, if we add 22 gram of copper sulfate at the same temperature into 100 gram of water, so that will form supersaturated, because its saturation level can be achieved by adding 20 gram of it. If we add more than that, so whatever the excess salt is there, that will go at the bottom of the beaker in a crystalline form. The solute will form the crystals in that. This type of solution is called supersaturated, in that more amount of solute is added than its saturation level. And what is saturation level children? सैचुरेशन लेवल मतलब ये वो लेवल होती है कि जिस लेवल तक कोई भी सॉल्वेंट उसमें सॉल्यूट डिज़ोल्व कर सकता है मैक्सिमम. उससे ज़्यादा अगर हम डिज़ोल्व करते हैं तो बन जाता है सुपर सैचुरेटेड, उससे कम अगर हम ऐड करते तो वो बन जाता है अनसैचुरेटेड सॉल्यूशन. चिल्ड्रन आवर नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज डेफिनेशन ऑफ सोल्यूबिलिटी. सोल्यूबिलिटी मीन्स द मैक्सिमम अमाउंट ऑफ सोल्यूट that can be added into 100 gram of water. This value is fixed, 100 gram of water at given temperature at atmospheric pressure. What does it mean? It means in 100 gram of water, according to its solubility at a particular temperature and at atmospheric pressure, according to its solubility value, how much amount of maximum solute it can add. In simple word children, जो आपका 100 ml of water है, ये 100 ml of water maximum कितना solute उसमें dissolve कर सकता है at a particular temperature and at atmospheric pressure is called its solubility. For example, I told you that 20 gram of copper sulfate can be dissolved in 100 gram of water at 20 degrees Celsius. Say for example, at this temperature 100 gram of water can dissolve maximum 20 gram of copper sulfate, and that will form saturated solution. If we add solute according to its solubility value, then of course it will form a saturated type of solution children. Fine. Now if we change the temperature, this definition indicates that the temperature and pressure affects the solubility, because these conditions are already given in definition. At given temperature and at atmospheric pressure means these two condition affects the solubility value children. Now how? Let us see. If we increase the temperature of any saturated solution, then its solubility increases. On increasing temperature of saturated solution, value of solubility increases. What does it mean? अब जैसे कि मैंने आपको ये सिचुएशन दिया है, सो 20 डिग्री से अगर समझो हम इसको लेके गए 40 डिग्री तक, सो 40 डिग्री में भी क्या मैक्सिमम 20 ग्राम कॉपर सल्फेट ही डिज़ोल्व होगा? नहीं, 20 ग्राम से ज़्यादा भी कॉपर सल्फेट हम ऐड कर सकते हैं एट 40 डिग्री of the same solution. Why this is so? Because on increasing temperature, the kinetic energy of the particle increases. Its diffusion rate also increases. and hence the solubility of 100 gram of water increases on increasing the temperature. So it can dissolve more amount of solute. So if we increase temperature of saturated solution, in that we can add more solute. Now take a reverse situation. If we lower down the temperature of this sample at 10 degrees Celsius, then what will happen? This is the situation for saturated solution. If we increase temperature, it will become unsaturated. It will become unsaturated, means in that we can add more solute here. But if we decrease the temperature, then what? Then solubility ultimately decreases. Means whatever the excess amount of salt is there, children, that will precipitate out in the form of crystals, and hence that will form supersaturated. On decreasing temperature of supersaturated solution, it will form, on decreasing temperature of saturated solution, it will form supersaturated here. And if we increase the temperature of saturated solution, it will form unsaturated. So in simple word, we can write effect of temperature on solubility So children, what is the effect of temperature on solubility? As temperature increases, solubility also increases. Means we can add more solute in the sample. Second, as temperature decreases, solubility also decreases. Means less amount of solute can get dissolved in that, and hence whatever the excess is there already, that will precipitate out in the form of crystals. The crystal will settle at the bottom, and hence it will become the supersaturated solution. Here the solution will become unsaturated. So children, in case of pressure, the same effect is there. If we increase the pressure instead of temperature, if we increase the pressure, solubility also increases, and if we decrease the pressure, solubility also decreases. So children, our next topic is finding the concentration of solution. Now children, how one can find out concentration of a given solution? So for this, three formulas are there. One is concentration in percentage is equal to amount of solute dissolved in amount of solution. Here you have to take value of solution, means where the solute is added into solvent, so that will form solution, into 100. Second is concentration in percent is equal to volume of solute into upon I'm extremely sorry children, here is the solute and here is the solution, into 100. And third is concentration in percent is equal to amount of solute upon volume of solution into 100. So this is for the weight by weight formula. This is the weight by weight formula, where we take solute in a gram, solution also in a gram. If in the question it is given that the solute in ml. So this is a volume by volume formula where both are given in ml unit, and this is when the solid is given in the gram and solution is given in a ml. So at that time we'll use weight by volume formula. Okay, so let us see one of the example. Now here children, find out concentration of a solution in which 20 ml of alcohol is added to 80 ml of water. Okay children, in this question you have to find out the concentration of solution where the amount of solute and the amount of solvent is given. Now what is the solute which is present in small quantity? So alcohol is the solute here, whose value is 20 ml, and water is the solvent. But children, our formula contain where we use the volume by volume formula for this question. So what is written here? Solute, and what is written here? Solution. इसका क्या मतलब है कि हमको solution find out करना पड़ेगा बच्चों, क्योंकि यहाँ पे ये जो दिया है आपको, ये है solute और ये solution नहीं है, ये solvent है. हमारे फॉर्मूले में हमको लगता है solution, तो हमको solution फॉर्म करना पड़ेगा. So first of all let us write the given. What is given? Amount of solute. How much it is? It is 20 ml. Amount of solvent. What is that? It's 80 ml children. So amount of solution, that will be, take addition of this, it will form 80 ml. So our solution is 80 ml. Let us put values in the formula. Our formula is concentration in percent is equal to. Now for this case we'll use volume by volume formula. That's why volume of solute upon volume of solution into 100. What is volume of solute in this numerical? It's 20. Amount of solution, that is 100 into 100. So this will cancel and it will be 20%. So concentration of the given sample is 20% children. In this way you can find out the numerical concentration of the given numerical. In solution, sometime in a question the value of solution is already given. Say for example 20 ml of alcohol is added into water to form 100 ml of solution. The question is quite different from the previous one. 20 ml of alcohol is added into water, so it will form 100 ml of a solution. So at that time no need to add this both the values. You can directly put the value of solute and solution in the given formula and you can easily find out the concentration of solution. So children, a lot of examples are given in Eschan book as well as in NCERT book, so you can go through that and you can find out the concentration of various samples.